Hello all of you knowledge seekers, and welcome back to Knowledge with Alar. In this video we are going to talk about why minimizing losses will lead to a bigger return in the long run. People invest to get their money to start to work for them. So you're investing to have more money in the future. When you get a good return, then it brings you a positive emotion. When you lose money, the opposite will happen. You will feel bad. It is proved by psychologists that when you lose money, you will feel the loss more than when you get a return of equal amount brings you happiness. It is one of the few aspects where the psychological side is on the same level as the mathematics of investing. And the same goes with the mathematical side. If you want to get the biggest returns, then you have to minimize the loss. So let's say you have 10,000 euros when you start. When you lose 10%, you lose 1,000 euros and you end up with 9,000. Now you need 11% return to get back to 10,000. If you lose 20%, you end up with 8,000 and you need to earn 25% return to get back to 10,000. Now if you lose 50%, you're down to 5,000 euros. Now you need 100% return to get back to 10,000. And if something really bad happens and you lose 90% and you just have 1,000 euros left, now you need to gain 900% return to get back to 10,000. And that is a really important thing to keep in mind, that it's so much harder to earn money than to lose money, because you just need so much better return to get back to even the same level. And if you get back to the same level, you're still not happy because you want to earn money. When it comes to investing, you hear the term beating the market all the time. It gets especially bad when there has been a long bull market. Like the last 10 years there has been a bull market when the market just keeps on rising, and people seem to have forgotten that the economy is cyclical and it can't go on forever, and there will come a point where the stocks will start to fall again. That is 100% sure that there will be a correction. We just can't possibly know when that will happen because we can't see the future. So let's talk about the previous example. Let's talk about the .com bubble and crash. One of the most known investor of all time is obviously Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett didn't participate in the .com craze back in the 99s and 2000s. And when you look at the numbers, you can see that Warren Buffett did really quite poorly during the time when the S&P was up 21% in 1999. He was down 19%. But when the bubble burst in 2000, Warren Buffett was up 26%, while the S&P was down 9%. In 2001, Warren Buffett was up 6.5%, while the S&P was down 11%. And in 2002, Warren Buffett also lost some money, 3.8%, but the S&P was down 22%. Now, if you look at some numbers here, you can see that if both of these started with 10,000, yes, in 99, the S&P would have 12,000, while Warren Buffett had 8,000. Then after all these events have happened, in 2002, Warren Buffett would have 10,500, while the S&P only had 7,600. So now you can see why it's so important to keep the risk as low as possible and not follow every craze there is in the market, because that is really dangerous, because you really have to keep the loss as low as possible. And you will see that in a later example I'm going to give you, so stick with me. Yes, that example was from 1999 to 2002, but the same goes for today. There has been a really crazy bull market for the last 10 years, and I'm quite sure that the S&P have beaten many value investors over the last 10 years. But you have to keep in mind that the cycle will turn and it can't go on like this forever. And think about it, the Standard & Poor is really overvalued at the moment. If everyone just blindly puts money in there, they don't look at the fundamentals at all. So be smarter than them. Don't just go with the craze and look only at the returns, because that simply cannot go on forever. From this example, you can see perfectly why it is so important to minimize loss. I have drawn out two different scenarios. Both scenarios start out with 10,000 euros. The first one is more focused on minimizing risk, and the second on getting higher returns. In the first scenario, you gain 8% annual return with a recessions of 20% on years 6 and 12. The second scenario, you get 12% annual return with a bigger drop during a recession of 50% on years 6 and 12. So on both of these examples, one is doing really good with 12% annual return, while the other is doing 8% annual return. But one has bigger risk, so during a recession, one will drop 50%, while the other only drops 20%. And even though your return on scenario 2 is 4% higher in a period of 20 years, your return will be more than 6,000 euros less. That is more than 60% of your starting investment. So yes, in the short term, let's say you take year 5, when you're investing more aggressively, you have 17,000, while the more passive, risk-oriented guy only has 14,000. That is short-term thinking. But in a longer period, your return will be higher, even though year by year, your return is 4% less. And at the end of year 20, the first scenario will have 25,574 euros, while the more aggressive scenario will have 19,224 euros. That difference is huge. So in conclusion, be very wary where you invest your money. Really think about how much you are willing to lose. If you blindly follow the herd because they have earned good returns over the last 5, 7, 10 years, then really think about, has there been a recession in that period? Has the person survived the recession? Does he really know what he is doing? Or is he just doing something because everyone else is doing it and now he's suggesting the same thing to you? If you truly want to win, then you have to think about risk first and returns second. Because if you find good low-risk investments that have good returns, then in the long run you are definitely going to win. And by winning, you're going to succeed in life. So really keep that in mind while investing and while hearing all these news about someone doing really, really good in the market and you're just kind of jealous and you want a part of it. Really think about what you are doing with your money, because it is your life that you're investing in it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and please leave me a comment down below. I'm really eager to answer to all your questions. See you in the next one. Bye.